The shadow of survival. Why the world's cruelty forges strength there is a truth that most people will never dare to confront. The world is not kind, and life was never designed to be fair. From the very beginning, every step you took has been a silent war against forces you could not control. You have been tested in ways you did not understand at the time, through pain, through betrayal, through loneliness, through failure, and yet here you are, breathing, thinking, searching for meaning. Niccolò Machiavelli, the man often branded as ruthless, understood something that most people are too afraid to admit. Survival itself is proof of hidden strength. He believed that the individual who can endure cruelty without collapsing is the one who holds true power. Look back on your life and you will see it. Every storm that should have broken you, every enemy that should have destroyed you, every night of despair that should have ended your hope, all of it stands behind you now, not ahead. That is the shadow of survival. And the fact that you still exist, still seeking, still standing, is the first sign that your soul has already passed its most dangerous test. Most people mistake comfort for safety. They think that a life without storms is a blessed life. But Machiavelli knew better. He warned that those who live too softly become prey to harder, sharper souls. Your survival through cruelty is not a punishment, it is initiation. Life has dragged you through the mud to make sure you could not be destroyed. Think of the scars you carry. Think of the memories that haunt you. Do you realize what they mean? They mean that you have lived through hell without surrendering your essence. A weaker soul would have collapsed, would have become bitter, would have let hatred eat it alive. But you, whether you see it or not, endured. You may think of yourself as broken, but Machiavelli would call you tempered, hardened and sharpened, like steel passed through fire. Survival is not an accident. It is a declaration. Every day that you continue to breathe, in defiance of everything that tried to crush you, you are declaring that your spirit is unkillable. This is what Jung would call individuation, the process of becoming who you truly are. But Machiavelli would frame it in darker words. He would say that the world wanted to make you its slave, wanted to break your will, wanted to turn you into something small and controlled. But the fact that you resisted, even in silence, is proof of strength greater than armies. The first hidden sign that your soul already survived its dangerous test is this. You have faced cruelty, and yet you are still capable of walking forward. That is not chance, that is power. Think of the times you were left alone with your pain. Think of the silence that felt like a prison. Many people cannot handle silence, because in silence they hear the truth of themselves. Yet you endured it. You listened to the voice of despair, and though it whispered that you were nothing, though it tempted you with surrender, you refused. Maybe you cried, maybe you bled, maybe you felt your body collapse under exhaustion, but you rose again. Machiavelli would call that the hidden discipline of survival, for he knew that the greatest rulers, the strongest spirits, are not made in comfort but in struggle. Power is born when everything is stripped from you, and still you do not bow. The dangerous test of the soul is never announced. It does not come with warning. It arrives in betrayal, in loss, in humiliation, in fear. And yet you passed it because you are here, not destroyed but wiser. The sign is hidden because you rarely stop to see it. You think survival is normal, but it is not. Millions of souls break under the weight you carried, but yours did not. And Machiavelli would look you in the eyes and tell you this. Your survival makes you dangerous, not to yourself, but to the illusions that once chained you. Pain is proof of power, enduring without breaking. Pain is the currency of growth. To live without pain is to live without transformation. Most people spend their entire lives running from discomfort, avoiding struggle, hiding from suffering as if it were poison. But Machiavelli would tell you something far harsher. Pain is not poison. It is the weapon life uses to test the soul. To endure pain without breaking is to show that your essence is stronger than circumstance. And if you are listening now, it means that you have not only endured pain, but survived it. This survival is not a random accident. It is a clear sign that your soul already passed one of its most dangerous trials. Think of the times when pain consumed you, when it hollowed out your chest and made you wonder whether breathing was even worth it. Pain of loss, pain of rejection, pain of betrayal, pain of failure. Each one of these is a blade, sharp enough to pierce the spirit. Many souls bleed out and never recover. But you, though you may have staggered, Though you may have crawled, you carried on. That is not weakness, that is proof of power. Machiavelli would say that rulers are forged not in moments of celebration, but in moments of agony. The person who can endure pain without surrendering becomes untouchable. We often misunderstand pain. We see it as punishment, as injustice, as misfortune. But Machiavelli, with his cold clarity, would call pain a teacher. He wrote that fortune is fickle, that she strikes the unprepared with cruelty. But those who are hardened by struggle bend fortune to their will. Your pain has prepared you. It has stripped you of illusions, burned away your naivety, carved out of you a sharper, leaner, more resilient spirit. And whether you recognize it or not, that transformation is already complete. The hidden sign that your soul passed its test is that you are no longer the same fragile being who once trembled at the first wound. You have been cut 1,000 times, and still you rise. Pain gave you patience. It forced you to wait when everything in you screamed to escape. It forced you to sit in silence when answers would not come. It forced you to hold yourself together when nobody else was there to do it. Machiavelli would admire this, because patience is power disguised as stillness. The weak demand instant relief. The strong endure, biding their time, conserving their strength until the right moment arrives. Every painful season you endured was secretly training you in the art of patience. And patience, when paired with resilience, is the foundation of dominance. You may think of yourself as simply surviving, but in truth, you were sharpening weapons in silence. Another gift of pain is clarity. Before suffering, we live in illusions. We believe people's words. We assume life will be fair. We imagine that loyalty is permanent, that love will last forever, that dreams will unfold without resistance. Pain shatters these illusions brutally. And though that shattering feels like destruction, it is actually liberation. Machiavelli argued that those who see the world clearly, without sentiment, without false hope, are the ones who govern it. Pain has forced you to see reality not as you wish it to be, but as it truly is. That sight is power. That clarity is proof that you have already survived the test, because you no longer walk blindly. You must understand that pain has also given you authority over yourself. Most people run from their own emotions. They drown themselves in distractions, in addictions, in endless noise to avoid feeling. But you have felt. You have sat in the fire of grief, in the storm of anger, in the abyss of loneliness. You faced emotions that could have drowned you, yet you did not die in them. That authority, the ability to suffer and still remain standing, is rare. Machiavelli would call it mastery. The one who cannot master their own emotions is doomed to be ruled by others. But the one who can sit with pain, masks of the soul, learning to adapt without losing essence. Life does not reward transparency in all situations. Machiavelli, with his piercing insight into human behavior, taught that those who reveal everything are vulnerable to manipulation and betrayal. The first lesson you learn when surviving life's dangerous tests is that not every truth belongs on the surface. Some truths must be guarded, some thoughts must be hidden, some emotions kept in silence. But here lies the subtle art of survival, to wear masks without losing your essence. The fact that you have learned this, often unconsciously, is another hidden sign that your soul has already endured its most dangerous trials. You have survived because you adapted, because you understood that appearance is often more crucial than reality, in a world governed by cruelty and cunning. Masks do not mean deceit, they mean protection. They are shields that allow you to navigate treacherous waters without surrendering your spirit. Every smile you have offered when your heart ached, every act of kindness when you felt nothing inside, every silent response to provocation, these are acts of subtle mastery. Machiavelli would call this prudence, the careful calculation of action to protect power. But beneath the mask, your soul remains intact. You have learned to move through life as both observer and participant, as both cautious and brave. The hidden sign here is that you are flexible without being broken. You bend where necessary, but you do not snap. Consider the people who fail to survive. They are rigid, unyielding, naive in their trust, and shocked by betrayal. They speak without thought, act without caution, and expose themselves to every strike the world throws. You, however, have learned to navigate the storm. You have experienced deceit, manipulation, and cruelty, yet you remain capable of kindness. That balance, adaptation without compromise, is a rare and powerful trait. Machiavelli knew that rulers must act with both cruelty and generosity, hardness and subtlety, and you have done the same in your own way. By learning when to reveal yourself and when to conceal yourself, you have already passed a dangerous test that many never survive. The mask also serves as a lens. By learning how to wear it, you have learned to observe others. You have developed instincts that detect lies, half-truths and hidden motives. Pain and betrayal sharpen these instincts, and survival requires that you trust them. Machiavelli argued that understanding human nature is the ultimate power, because humans are predictable in their desires, fears, and ambitions. You have survived because you have learned, sometimes without realizing, to read the people around you, to anticipate harm, to move strategically. This awareness is subtle, almost invisible, yet it is a hidden sign of triumph. You are no longer defenseless. Your mind has become a weapon, guided by experience and sharpened by adversity. There is another dimension to the mask. It teaches resilience of identity. You can adapt, but you do not lose yourself. Many people who survive outwardly lose their inner truth. They become hollow shell, shaped entirely by circumstance. You, however, have endured without compromise. Your principles, your core essence, your values remain intact even while you navigate a world that demands compromise and calculation. Machiavelli would recognize this as mastery, the ability to use appearances as tools while keeping power and integrity within. That duality, adaptation with preservation, is another hidden sign that your soul has already passed life's dangerous tests. Even more, wearing masks has taught you patience. In life, impulsive reactions often destroy the unprepared. The untrained soul responds immediately to insult, pain, or betrayal, while the trained soul waits, calculates, and chooses action with purpose. You have waited, you have endured, you have acted when necessary and remained silent when survival demanded it. Control or be controlled, the discipline of owning your emotions. One of the most subtle yet profound signs that your soul has survived its dangerous test is the mastery of your own emotions. Machiavelli understood that power begins within. Before one can command armies, influence leaders, or navigate treacherous politics, one must first command oneself. Every person you have faced, every betrayal you have endured, every moment of despair you have overcome, has been a lesson in emotional sovereignty. The world is relentless, and it does not forgive impulsive weakness. Those who cannot control their reactions are easily manipulated, easily destroyed. But you, whether you have realized it or not, have developed a kind of silent discipline. You endure, you observe, you calculate, and in that quiet mastery lies the hidden power of survival. Emotional control does not mean suppressing feeling. It does not mean ignoring anger, grief, or fear. It means acknowledging these emotions and choosing action with purpose rather than reaction. You have likely experienced moments when the temptation to lash out, to give in to despair, or to surrender to anger was almost unbearable. Yet you resisted, even in the heat of emotional chaos. You found a way to breathe, to pause, to reflect before responding. This restraint is a profound mark of endurance. Machiavelli would call it prudence, the ability to govern oneself before attempting to govern the world. Your survival, your unseen victories, are written in these moments of disciplined self-mastery. Consider the times when others lost their composure and paid dearly for it. They let fear dictate their decisions. They allowed envy, rage, or grief to cloud their judgment. They were consumed by circumstance, controlled by the storms of life. But you survived because you refused to be dictated by your emotions. You discovered, perhaps instinctively, that the one who masters fear, the one who tempers anger with reflection, the one who transforms despair into determination, is untouchable. That untouchability is not about being invincible. It is about being sovereign within yourself. That sovereignty is a hidden sign that your soul has already passed the most dangerous tests of life. Emotional mastery also cultivates clarity. When the mind is not ruled by immediate reactions, it sees opportunity where others see only chaos. Machiavelli believed that foresight is one of the greatest weapons a leader can possess. By managing your emotions, you have trained yourself to see situations as they truly are rather than as they appear through the distortion of pain or fear. Every time you paused before reacting, Every time you resisted the urge to give in to despair or rage, you practiced a strategic intelligence that is rare and powerful. That intelligence is a sign of survival. It shows that your soul is not merely enduring life, but learning from it. Furthermore, controlling your emotions builds resilience. Each time you faced heartbreak, betrayal, or failure and chose to continue forward instead of collapsing, you strengthened the foundation of your inner fortress. Machiavelli wrote that fortune favors those who are prepared and adaptable. Emotional control is preparation. Emotional control is armor. Emotional control ensures that no external force, no matter how cruel, can strip away your core. This discipline is proof of survival. Many falter under adversity. Many allow pain to dictate their lives, but you have endured in silence and emerged stronger, wiser and more capable. Pain, masks, and self-discipline converge in this mastery of emotion. When you combine the lessons of suffering, the awareness gained from deception, and the strategic restraint of your own reactions, you form a kind of internal power that is invisible yet unstoppable. Machiavelli admired those who could wield this hidden strength to navigate life's dangers successfully. If you want to become one of these people, then continue to learn, grow, and improve, and always remember to stay strategic, stay ethical, and stay powerful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.